a Facebook whistleblower plans to testify to Congress this week that she believes the company lies about how it handles hate and misinformation. Former Facebook employee Frances Haugen revealed her identity last night on 60 Minutes. Her lawyers gave the Securities and Exchange Commission thousands of pages of Facebook's internal research. And she says it proves the company knew its algorithms raised the profile of hate, divisive political speech, and misinformation. Haugen also told Scott Pelley that Facebook chooses policies that emphasize profit over public safety.
So, you have your phone. You might see only 100 pieces of content if you sit and scroll off for, 5 minutes. But Facebook has thousands of options it could show you.
The algorithm picks from those options based on the kind of content you've engaged with the most in the past.
And one of the consequences of how Facebook is picking out that content today is that it is optimizing for content that gets engagement or reaction. But its own research is showing that content that is hateful, that is divisive, that is polarizing, it's easier to inspire people to anger than it is to other emotions.
Misinformation, angry content is enticing to people and keeps them on the platform.
Yes. Facebook has realized that if they change the algorithm to be safer, people will spend less time on the site, they'll click on less ads, they'll make less money.
Haugen says Facebook understood the danger to the 2020 election, so it turned on safety systems to reduce misinformation. But many of those changes, she says, were temporary.
And as soon as the election was over, they turned them back off, or they changed the settings back to what they were before to prioritize growth over safety. And that really feels like a betrayal of democracy to me.
Facebook told CBS News that, quote, the growth of people or advertisers using Facebook means nothing if our services aren't being used in ways that bring people closer together. That's why we are investing so much in security that it impacts our bottom line, including the 40,000 people working on safety and security at Facebook and our investment of $13 billion since 2016. The 60 Minutes report also focused on Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. Haugen says company research shows the app can actually damage the mental and physical well-being of teens, in particular teen girls.
One of the Facebook internal studies that you found talks about how Instagram harms teenage girls.
Oh, yeah.
One study says 13.5% of teen girls say Instagram makes thoughts of suicide worse. 17% of teen girls say Instagram makes eating disorders worse.
And what's super tragic is Facebook's own research says, as these young women begin to consume this eating disorder content, they get more and more depressed, and it actually makes them use the app more. And so they end up in this feedback cycle where they hate their bodies more and more. Facebook's own research says it is not just that Instagram is dangerous for teenagers, that it harms teenagers. It's that it is distinctly worse than other forms of social media.
You can read Facebook's entire response to 60 Minutes on our website, cbsnews.com. It's a powerful report. Facebook, as part of its response to 60 Minutes, says it actually welcomes regulation from Congress. I think there's reason to take them at face value on that because they're in a race for attention with a lot of competitors. If there are rules for everybody to follow, they'll follow them too. But in the meantime, they're being criticized and asked essentially to make less money. And any company that has investors is not going to voluntarily do that.
Seems counterintuitive when you hear what she was saying, that they would welcome regulation. What was she like? What was her position on Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, this is very interesting. She says she's empathetic toward Mark. She doesn't think Mark was trying to create a product that hurts America or any other society, but he's running a business and decisions have been made that have led to bad outcomes. So I think everybody agrees regulation needs to come. Facebook does, Congress does, she does. The question is, what should that regulation be?
But Zuckerberg, Mark and the company seem to be trying to tap it down, but it doesn't seem to be enough based on what she's saying.
It doesn't, and by their own research, I mean, one of their reports said that they estimate they get 3 to 5% of hate speech off the platform. They also said they get 0.6% of violence and incitement off the platform.
Negativity, hate speech, misinformation, it all creates conversation. Conversation creates engagement. Engagement creates revenue.
Exactly.
It dials down.
Well put.
To revenue.
Well put.
Yeah, but some things are bigger than revenue.